Hey guys, Rutledge from TechRaptor. We're here at Gen Con 2017, hanging out in the Hyatt with Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and we're going to check out a couple expansions and one of you guys' big cornerstone games, it sounds like, for this year.
Yeah.
So let's hop right into Scythe, because that was last year. That was our board game of the year last year, and Travis absolutely loves it, and the models are really cool. So you guys are moving into airships now.
We are.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we now have the Wind Gambit expansion that has these 7 airships, one for each faction. And each airship, each game, has a combination of 2 different randomized abilities where you kind of pair them together. One is more passive, one is more aggressive. We found in playtesting that players like the option of doing both. So if you have more aggressive players, they have that ability. More passive, they have that, but they also mash together well. And they let you even, like this one has 2 little meeples on it. It means that you can actually put 2 meeples on this airship and move them around on the airship. Airships aren't impeded by any type of land because they're above the water. So rivers, lakes, doesn't matter, they can fly over them. The expansion also has one less flashy module, but one that received high marks in playtesting, which is the resolution module. So there are 8 of these tiles that are different endgame triggers that feel a little bit like 8 different scenarios in the way they play, because it's not just like a different endgame trigger, but usually it's a different way to play the game. Like this one is Mission Possible. You during setup you reveal 2 random objective cards and you set them next to the Triumph track. So in addition to all the other goals you're achieving inside, if you want to target those objectives instead, you can. So they add a lot of variety each time you play.
A lot more replayability.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And if you guys haven't checked out Scythe, I highly recommend it. When we sat down with you, we were highly impressed by the models, and it's a phenomenal game.
Thanks.
So, is there anything else you wanted to touch on with it, or?
That's it. It's a pretty simple expansion. It comes out in early December, and it's $25. $25.
Yeah. And where's the best place for people to grab that?
And their local retailer, online retailer, their preferred retailer. Okay. Yeah, we don't sell it directly.
For any local game store.
Yep.
There you go. Awesome. And then we've got Between Two Cities.
Yes, this is the Capitals expansion that actually already came out. We're selling it here at Gen Con. And it is an expansion that the designers of Between Two Cities worked on for about a year and a half after coming out with Between Two Cities. And I don't know if you can kind of see, is that going to be on camera? So it adds these landscapes. In Between Two Cities, usually you start with nothing. This, you start with a landscape that you kind of build on and around, and which creates both a puzzle and it makes it look better on the board, like more visually appealing. Okay. Also comes with a bunch of new tokens and a bunch of unique civic tiles. So it's basically 3 modules that combine together to add a higher level of strategy to Between Two Cities. This is my project of the last 2 years, Charterstone. Yeah, it's a village building legacy game. I've loved legacy games since I played Risk Legacy. Have you played any of the legacy games?
Played a couple.
Yeah. I love Risk Legacy, I love Pandemic Legacy, and I wanted to try to design one of my own. It turned out to be a huge challenge, much harder than I thought. It will probably be my only legacy game ever, but I enjoyed designing it. It's for 1 to 6 players. It's a competitive game, but it has a little bit of a cooperative feel. I'll show you why in a second. But basically, you are building a village with up to 5 other players. It plays 1 to 6. And in this village, each player has their own charter in the village. So this is like the red player's charter. And they are putting stickers, they're peeling stickers off cards and permanently putting them on this board to slowly build up the village over time. And they become worker placement action spots for any player to use. So the red player or any player can use those buildings. So even though it's a competitive game, you are together building this village. There's a lot of secrets in this box, so I can't show a ton, but so like the board itself is a little bit of a secret.
Show as much as we can.
Each player has their own tuck box that just has player pieces inside of it. There's some secret stuff over here. One thing that I've talked about a little bit online is the unlocking system. So in the game, there are lots of crates that you can unlock. I've called them crates in quotes because it's not like an actual tuck box that you're opening. If, say, you opened crate number 1, you would look on this little chart and you would say, okay, crate number 1 has cards 22, 23, and 219. and you would look in this index, and you would pull out those cards. They're in numerical order, so you would find cards 22, 23, and 219.
Pull them out.
So it's functionally the same as like opening an envelope, but it's better for production to have these in numerical order than to have people stuffing 70 different envelopes.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Every copy of the game comes with a lot of wood and 36 metal coins. All this wood comes out of the box. So one of the unique features about Charterstone is that you play a 12-game campaign of it, but after the campaign is done, you have a fully constructed, fully functional worker placement game. So you can continue to play as much as you want after that. Like if I play red throughout the entire campaign, after that I might randomly play blue one game, green one game, kind of like in any other worker placement game where you move around and have different roles. And if you really love the campaign and want to do another one, we're selling a recharge pack. Another thing that people ask me to do, because people notice that the board game is the game board is double-sided. Same thing on both sides. So during campaign 1, you fill up one side. You can just buy the recharge pack, which has all the stuff that you permanently changed in the first game, and you just flip the board over and play again. And while this game is $70, the recharge is only $30. So you get to do the same, have the same experience.
So you still have that permanency of a legacy game,
Yes.
but you get to actually start over rather than having to rebuy the whole kit.
Exactly, yeah. And if you really do, like, if you end up loving whatever village you create and you just have fun playing with that game, you can play it as much as you want. So, yeah. So
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're not doing Kickstarter with this one. This is our first big game that we have not used Kickstarter on. We don't use Kickstarter anymore at all. So there's just one version of the game, and every retailer who wants it will hopefully have it in early December.
So you guys are stepping away from Kickstarter completely for the foreseeable future?
Yeah. I really enjoyed my experience on Kickstarter, but it seemed like a good time to test out a more traditional market.
You going to keep up the blog?
Yeah, I've kept up. I'm still fascinated by crowdfunding, Kickstarter, and entrepreneurship and all that. So I still write the blog, and I've taken to doing design diary entries on Charterstone so far, but other games too. Oh, cool. On the Wind Gambit, I did one of those. So I'm still. It feels like writing a backer update, a project update, but I use Facebook instead of Kickstarter.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So in case people aren't aware, Jamey has a blog where he's done quite a bit of revealing information about how to run a Kickstarter. So if you're considering running a Kickstarter, I highly recommend checking it out for any sort of insight that you might be looking for. When we ran ours, it was definitely informative for certain things that we were not sure about. So
congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the shirts.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, legacy game we can't reveal anymore. So if you're looking to check that out, then you're gonna have to hit up your friendly local game store.
That's right.
So is this it for this year? Or do you have any other hidden things that are gonna be popping out?
There's no other hidden things. There's one thing I couldn't bring. We're coming out with something called the Scythe Legendary Box, which is just a giant, pretty much empty box. It doesn't come with any Scythe stuff in it, but people kept asking for a bigger box so they could hold all the Scythe expansions and accessories and custom inserts and all that. And so I was hesitant at first to make and sell an empty cardboard box, but enough people asked for it, and I was like, okay, cool. And so we made this giant box that features Jakob's art on all six sides, really. There's a big piece of art on the bottom. And I didn't bring it because it's huge. It's a little hard to carry around.
Yeah.
But that will be coming out in a few months as well, so people can have that. And that'll fit the Wind Gambit, Invaders from Afar, and the third and final expansion that we're working on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
and again, if you guys are looking for any of Stonemeier's games, you're going to be going straight to your friendly local game store.
That's right. Or your preferred online retailer if you don't have access to a local game store. Yeah. I found this. That was when I told people I was quitting Kickstarter. Some people were like, "Well, where do I live out in the country? I can't get in." I'm like, "Well, you can just order it online. That's fine."
There's plenty of friendly local internet game stores.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, thank you, and definitely keep an eye out for these games.
Awesome.